All right, let's jump right in. When we think about heroism, what comes to mind? It's usually that one big dramatic moment, right? The incredible save, the buzzer beater shot. But what if I told you that true excellence, the real game-changing stuff, isn't that moment at all? What if it's the quiet, disciplined, kind of boring work that happens after the big win? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
So picture this. It's 7:23 in the morning. A senior resident, we'll call him Dr. Amrit, is wiped out but feeling on top of the world. He just brought a patient back from the brink, his shift is done, and he's making a beeline for the door. But then his mentor, this seasoned doctor, Dr. SB, stops him with just 4 words. "Where are you going?" And Amrit, he's like, "Home. I got the pulse back." He thinks the job is done, the victory is sealed. Oh, but he has no idea. His real work was just getting started.
You see, in the world of emergency medicine, getting that pulse back, it's called ROSC, or return of spontaneous circulation. That feels like spiking the football in the end zone. It's the big, flashy moment everyone cheers for. But here's the thing. It's a really dangerous illusion. That victory, it's fragile, it's temporary. And what you do in the moments after that is what actually decides if that patient walks out of the hospital.
So to get this crucial point across to Amrit, Dr. SB does something really unexpected. He doesn't lecture him or open up some dense medical textbook. Nope, he reaches back 2,000 years to an ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita, and he shares this one metaphor that just changes the entire game.
So in the Gita, Krishna talks about this cosmic tree, but get this, it's upside down. The roots, the part you usually can't see, are pointing up towards the big eternal truths. And the branches, the part everyone sees and focuses on, they grow downward into our everyday temporary world. The lesson here is huge. Stop obsessing over the flashy branches. The real work, the real strength, comes from tending to the invisible roots.
And boom, that's where this ancient wisdom just clicks with modern medicine. Think about it. The branches, that's the exciting stuff, right? Running the code, shouting orders, getting that pulse back. It's high drama, it's what you see in the movies. But the roots, that's the quiet, careful, and let's be honest, kind of unglamorous work that comes next. That's the real foundation for an excellent outcome. And it's almost completely invisible.
Okay, so this isn't just some nice philosophical idea. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the hard science, because this concept of tending the roots is literally the bedrock of today's resuscitation guidelines. Let's see what that actually looks like when you're trying to save a life after the heart's already been restarted.
And this is where the numbers just hit you like a ton of bricks. We're actually pretty good at the branch part. Teams get a pulse back in about 40% of cardiac arrests outside a hospital. That's not bad. But look at this. Only 10% of those people actually go home. Let that sink in. Where did the other 30% go? They're lost in that gap. They're lost in the post-arrest phase because their roots were completely ignored.
So why? Why do they die after you've already saved them? Well, it's because the moment the heart restarts, this 4-headed monster appears. We call it post-cardiac arrest syndrome. First, the brain is injured. Second, the heart itself is stunned and weak. Third, the entire body is on fire with inflammation. And fourth, whatever caused the arrest in the first place, it's probably still there. You have to fight all 4 of these things methodically, or that patient is not making it.
So let's look at the roots. First up, oxygen. Your gut instinct is just to crank it up to 100%, right? More is better. But that's a huge mistake. Too much oxygen, what we call hyperoxia, is actually toxic to the recovering brain. It's like pouring fuel on a fire, creating this oxidative stress that just fries the cells. So you have to be precise, dialing it back to that sweet spot of 92 to 98%.
Next up, breathing for the patient. Man, this is a balancing act. If you breathe too fast, you blow off too much carbon dioxide. Sounds good, but it's not. It clamps down the blood vessels in the brain, basically starving it of blood. Breathe too slow, and CO2 builds up, which cranks up the pressure inside the skull. Both are terrible. You have to nail that narrow target.
And blood pressure? This one is non-negotiable. After a cardiac arrest, the brain is just incredibly fragile. Any dip in blood pressure, even for a few minutes, can cause a massive die-off of brain cells. We're talking irreversible damage. So you've got to be aggressive, using meds, whatever it takes to keep that pressure up.
And finally, temperature. A fever after the heart stops is an absolute brain killer. It's directly linked to horrible outcomes. The new guidelines are clear. You have to actively cool the patient down and keep them cool for at least 36 hours. And you absolutely cannot let a fever develop. It's that critical.
So let's circle back to Dr. Amrit's patient.
Dr. SB goes to the bedside, and what he finds is a slow-motion catastrophe. The patient's on 100% oxygen, hyperoxia. They're being ventilated way too fast, hypocapnia. Their blood pressure is in the tank, hypotension. And they're getting warm, a developing fever. See? Amrit was so focused on the big, flashy branch, getting the pulse back, that he was totally blind to the fact that every single one of the patient's roots was dying. This patient looked stable, but they were on the fast track to a devastating brain injury.
So how do you stop this from happening? It's not magic. It's discipline. It's a checklist. The second you get that pulse back, the party's over and a whole new game starts. You're not high-fiving, you're running a new playbook. Check oxygen, check ventilation, push blood pressure, start cooling, run the labs, get the EKG. This systematic process, that's the work. That's what transforms a lucky break into a genuine save.
And this is where the story takes a turn. Because this whole roots and branches thing, it's not just about patients. It's about us. It's about having a long, sustainable career in any demanding field.
Think about your own career. The branches are the big wins, the promotions, the public praise, those adrenaline rushes. And hey, those are awesome. We all love them. But if that's the only thing you're chasing, you're on a fast track to burnout. The roots are the quiet things that actually keep you going. The daily habits, always learning something new, taking care of your body and mind, nurturing your relationships. That's the stuff nobody sees, but it is everything.
Dr. SB, the mentor, he actually lays out his personal game plan for surviving 30 years in the trenches. And he's clear. These aren't just nice ideas, they're non-negotiables. Something for his mind and body every single day. A real disconnected day off every week. A check-in on his work every month. And a real vacation every year where he truly unplugs. This is it. This is the boring, disciplined, invisible work of tending your own roots. So you don't just survive, you actually thrive. Okay, let's put it all together. What does this mindset actually look like, day to day? And what's the real difference between someone who only sees the branches and someone who tends the roots?
Just look at these two paths, side by side. Both docs get the pulse back, same initial win. But physician A, the branch-focused one, thinks, great, my job's done, and moves on. Their patient crashes and burns from all those hidden problems and dies a few days later. Then you have physician B, the root tender. They get the pulse back and think, okay, now the real work starts. They run the checklist, they stabilize everything, and their patient walks out of the hospital with their brain intact. Same save, radically different outcomes. It's all about the mindset. So here's the bottom line. It's so important. Whether we're talking about a patient's life, your career, a company, anything, things don't rot from the top down. They die from the roots up. The collapse starts in the places you can't see. All that beautiful success you see in the branches is only possible because someone, somewhere, did the hard work of tending to the roots. And look, this idea is so much bigger than a hospital. It applies to everything. Your projects, your family, your health, your entire life. Real, lasting success is never just about those big, flashy moments. It's built on the quiet, consistent, foundational work that nobody ever claps for. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What are the branches in your life that you're so focused on? And more importantly, what invisible roots do you really need to be tending to?